For this week. We are sorry for the late start. However, we're going to discuss what we had in store for us this evening, which has to do with the discovery of a young Cameroonian who is surprising Cameroon and the world with some of his local productions, especially after he presented one of his latest constructed bikes at his metal garage out here in Douala, the nation's economic capital. We brought him into the studios of My Media Prime today to tell the world where his inspiration is coming from, what challenges he is facing, and what it even takes to produce either the bike. I also understand that he constructed a car once, and is also in the construction of machines. His name is Wirngo Erico Jaidzeka, who is turning Cameroonians with the production of so many locally fabricated stuff. A Tricycle, amongst others, is in the studio with us. Wirngo Erico Jaidzeka, we are glad to have you on Prime.
Counting my blessing to be here, sir. Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm very fine. I'm blessed to be here.
Okay, sit up. Okay, we are going to be having this fun ride with you, discussing what you have been producing. What can you tell Cameroonians as some of the things that you have been able to produce locally here in Cameroon?
Well, what I can tell Cameroonians, first of all, is that they need to believe in themselves. Because I would say that is the primary tool I use. The first thing first is the self-will, the confidence, and to believe in ourselves that we can do it. That is the first tool that you need. And secondly, you have to go through research. You have to keep studying whatever you're doing to improvise whatever you have been doing. Like many Cameroonians are doing welding, and they can literally do even better than me, but what is setting the differences is the limitation in the mindset. Yes, because I have colleagues, I have apprentices who have graduated many years ago, so I know they are good welders, and I even know people I studied with an apprenticeship, so I know they are good welders, they can even do better, but then they just limit themselves. Let me put it that way, like most Cameroonians, they limit themselves to the particular things they study in the workshop. Like I studied normal metal iron welding doors for iron welding doors, metal gates, balcony, staircase, agricultural machines, and like the rest of the Cameroonians. But welding doesn't end there. So we have many things to do in the world to build. So that is when your self-confidence comes in, and then of course you have to deal with research, you have to deal with people who have done it before, you have to follow people who are better than you in that same domain.
Okay, before we get to this inspiration, what specifically have you been able to construct and present to Cameroonians so far?
As far as automobile is concerned, I've done motorcycles from Choppers. Choppers is a brand of American motorcycles. And I've equally done commercial bikes, which will label them like the examples of the Chinese bike. I would say they are the prototypes that will follow up. So those are the bikes I've done so far. And I've equally done the tricycles. Now that we're in Douala, that's a good business, a commercial good business. So I've constructed tricycles, coming from my own company, from my own manufacturing sector. I'm doing what I know is good for our society. Not looking down on the Chinese, though they are doing great, but the durability in iron, I outperform them because I know what we need and I know our roots better. And I'm not doing it for, of course, I wouldn't say I'm not doing for the money, but I'm not putting that at the first stake. I'm looking at what will work for a long time. Yeah, so that's where I come in to try to upgrade.
Okay, let's, can we have the pictures of the bike that was recently presented to Cameroonians, Eli? There is a recent bike, that is the bike that was recently constructed. I'm sure you did that. Eric, you are the one who constructed this bike.
Yeah, yes,
out here in Douala.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what is the name you gave to the bike, and how long did it take to construct?
It's a hijack, like normally called, but I call mine the hijack because I upgraded the engine to sustain it all the way from ground, like 32 centimeters, because the clients for that bike is all the way at Idina, behind the mountains, very rocky route. So It's upgraded from the normal hijack. So the name to it, all my bikes carry my name, Jaidzeka. The Jaidzeka Motors is all goes on my name, but specifically that is a hijack. So I'll do choppers, which are luxury bikes, and every bike comes with its own specific name. So this one right here, I call it the highest jack because...
Okay, the highest jack.
The highest jack.
The difference between this and what we have, we find on market is that you say it is adapted for our roads, especially this one. You say it's a command from behind the mountain.
Yeah, it's a command from.
What is it that you are adding to this?
Well, my chassis, first of all, the structure, the chassis is very durable. I use a very solid material. There's no economics in the material. Like the guarantee for that bike will surpass this one. Like if the other Chinese bike will work for 3 years before it diminished, that can go for 10 years and so on and so forth. So, but we're using the same engines though, but I upgraded this one. Normally the normal hijacks in the market are having 150cc engines, but I'm using a 200cc engine because they'll be climbing heavy mountains and they'll be carrying loads of load. The clients for this is having a palm mill right at the bush or the mountains after engine like that. So they'll produce from there. It will help them to ease the transportation. So we needed something with a stronger engine, with a stronger shocks. That's why I doubled the shocks. That's why I doubled the shock system behind to withstand the load in the rocky roads. So.
Now, when you say you upgraded the engine, how do you do that?
No, I'm not the one who upgraded the engine.
Okay.
They come in the market different categories.
Okay.
But these engines are designed for tricycle. Actually, there are normal tricycles in the Douala city that are using 200cc engines. So normally you don't see that big engine on a normal small bike because it's designed to be carrying load, and having it on a small bike doesn't really make sense. But it makes sense to who knows what he is going for. So it was a special command for somebody who already know I build bikes and know what I can do. So it was like, okay, I already had previous Chinese bike, but they don't last long in that route. They suffer the labor. So I said, okay, this is the option I have for you. I will construct you a hijack, and this is what I will do. I will upgrade the engine to put a 200cc engine, which can carry any load from 300 kilograms and climb any hill without stress. So that is what you're seeing right there.
Now, tell me about the construction process. Where did this knowledge come from? How long do you take to construct a bike?
Normally, I have 30 days to construct a bike.
Okay.
Be it a bike, be it a tricycle, I take 30 days. So it's 30 days work. Actually, I can go less than that. If I'm building 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I will not take that much time. So, and it's because I'm polyvalent. I do a lot of things in my workshop, so I don't just focus on one thing. Like the time I took to produce this bike, I was working along a tricycle. I was working along some grinding mills, some other stuff, iron doors, back corners, and a lot of things. So if I'm focusing only on automobile, it will take me lesser time to produce one.
So 30 days, you get where do you get the raw?
We are blessed with that. Douala has all the raw materials that we can ever think of. We can produce literally anything in this country. We have all the raw materials. So yes, we buy the engines from the Chinese market. We have the shops here. We can command them from China. We have them here. If you're looking for a particular brand that is not in Cameroon market, you have it here.
When you want to construct a bike, you do it on command, or you have a display shop where you construct and display for persons to come and buy?
As of the moment, I'm working on command.
Okay.
That should be like number 8 bikes that I've produced so far, but I only work on command based on the fact that, I would say it's due to economics. You will understand, because at this level, in the long run, of course, I will be producing and selling, because you need to make people to know, many people to believe in you by saying Cameroonians believe in what they see, as I will put it that way. So I would say I'm grateful for those few believers, because it's not easy for somebody to come and pay you off head to produce something like that. You need to have a strong believer. And I would say, permit me to mention that my very first clients whoever purchased a bike from me, so that's the CEO of Greenhouse Venture, Mr. Roland Fomonda.
Okay.
It takes people like that who believes in you and are ready to pay you to do something. They could go get it cheaper from the market. Actually, mine is not cheaper. They pay me more than what is in the market, because they want something durable, and of course it comes with a price. So like this bike, I made this bike for 700,000, but the other normal Chinese hijack in the market is 650,000, 600,000. So the truth is that you're using more durable material. You cannot compete with you cannot match the price.
No, you cannot match the price. This, alongside the tricycle, also involves some electronic work. Who does it?
Now I have a special electrician who does all my wiring work. So in the long run, I intend to have a whole team like an electrician and mechanic. But most of the mechanical part I do it myself. I only need the electrician to come and do the wiring. So to go and do the wiring, the lighting, the setting all like so.
Now, this bike, since you presented it to the world, I'm sure last week, what is the reaction you received from the population?
Very positive, very positive. As a matter of fact, I delayed coming here because I had a meeting with a client who came to give a command, who wanted his own bike. So I had to wait and we just signed the deal. Like many people are interested in this particular model. So I'm having a couple of people on the pipeline that we're discussing for their own production. So I will say it is a very promising business because people are starting to believe that this is really something serious, and people are really sad because, you know, from the first one they see it just work 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Okay, now they start to believe in it. So it's a long time kind of a thing. To engage, to embark on something like this, it takes patience, and you need to prove yourself to the people that this merit it. They can come for this. They should vouch for what you are doing. So it takes time to make people to believe in you because of the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. They see the way they are functioning with no complaints. So that's how you.
Now you tell me that you learned this stuff in a normal metal workshop, like any other person.
Like any other
Where
person.
did this inspiration come from to get automobile into automobile?
Thank you. I follow Americans so much, and I love American bikes. Choppers, they call it choppers. They are very expensive.
Can we have it? Is the big bike? I see you with. Is it your wife and kids?
Yeah, that's my wife and my kids. We always ride together.
Yes. Is that the bike?
No. That's the one I made for Greenhouse Ventures. Okay. This is the bike.
This is the chopper you're talking about?
Yes.
Tell us about the chopper.
Yeah, so choppers, the truth is they are very expensive. Yeah, it's like American choppers range from, the cheapest is from 8 million. So me having so much love for those bikes, like answering your question, how did I come about it? Having so much love for them and knowing that, hey, Eric, you cannot raise 10 million, 12 million, 30 million to purchase a chopper. But at this level, you are a welder, so who are you waiting for? You should build one. So it happens that I was in a meeting with my colleagues, and I was the secretary, the wedding meeting that we usually have. So I told them that now we should stop all this issue of talking about the Chinese bike, the hijack, the Sanelli, the this and that. These are actually done by welders that side. So, and we are welders. It's really a disgrace for us to be sitting here and talking about what our colleagues are doing out there. So when I say I'm going to build a bike, they laughed at me. Like many people, they know me as Erico Metal, but my colleagues, many were addressing me as Erico Mental, meaning that I'm not thinking straight. How can I say I will make a bike? I say I gave you till the end of this year, and that is how I came about that, my very first bike since 2016. So I say, hey, you can make this. It's okay. So I just did it. So, but I would say it took me some research because everything is online. We go to YouTube, so you can see other fabricators, other companies. I follow BMW. I follow Rolls-Royce company when I dive into the love for cars. I follow companies, big companies. Yes. So that is how I came about it. So I just upped it and I built mine. And it's rather unfortunate that since then, with all those equip, I haven't seen anybody with the passion. So I would say it takes a different level of passion. I would say mine is passion. Yes, I have so much passion for automobile. So like I've been training. My recent graduate is last year. He's already doing well in his workshop. And others that have been out, like maybe 15 for the previous years, I don't see anybody with that love. So it takes a certain love for something for you to, because truly it's a lot of sacrifice in studies but is it hard to do? No, nothing hard about it. Nothing, absolutely nothing. They're doing other stuff that are more difficult than bikes and cars and tricycles. They don't just believe they can do it. And I would say that is what set the difference. But my mission has always been to prompt them, to bring them out, to understand that they cannot just remain there. So, but I believe that many and most of my apprentices from 2019 have been so much interested in automobiles. So I believe the brand I'm having now, the generation I'm training now will be different. Sooner or later you have many Cameroonians doing this for a living.
Many Cameroonians are going to engage in this.
Yes.
Now, you say the raw material is readily available in Cameroon. Yeah, but where do you buy them from?
We have our markets, we have companies that sell raw material. When we talk about raw material, I'm talking about iron. Yes, we have iron of every quality, every category, everything from cast to iron to stainless to whatever model you want. It's all in our market. We have them. There are companies around Congene, Foco, and so on and so forth. And then when we're going for imported irons, of course, there are shops for that. We call it cast, but there are shops for that they brought in imported irons.
So what you do is you go get the irons, and how do you form the body?
I've made my stencils.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the tools, well, I wouldn't blame my other colleagues because, you really need to invest in yourself. I have invested so much in my tools that I believe that is the only thing that eats my money. I only invest in tools. If I cannot purchase it, I build it. But 90% of my tools, I build them. Apart from the welding machines, the filing machines, the benders, I build them. I fabricate them. So if I need a particular machine that can bend a pipe like that one you're seeing, it will be too expensive to buy it. There are prefabricated machines in the market for that, but they are very expensive. But at my level, I can make them. So this is what I always do. If I want something and I cannot afford it, then I look at the option. But you can make it because it's done by welders, and I don't limit myself. I go beyond boundaries. I do everything that anybody has ever done, and I do what nobody has even done. Yes, I have that in me. So it takes self-belief. It takes a willpower. It's a willpower. You just have to be confident about it that you can do it, and you will do it. Just like it. Fear is the only thing that set the differences, that set people, that make people to not to excel. Yeah, I would say that is fear, but with me, there is just nothing I cannot do.
Okay, there's nothing you cannot do. Eric says he has been able to produce bikes. I saw a car where you were standing on it. Did you form that car?
No, I didn't form that car, but I transformed that particular one.
Okay.
Yes, that's a Starlet, model Starlet. So if you look at the frontage, it's the concept of a Rolls Royce.
Yes.
Yes, and the door, the concept of the Rolls Royce door, they open like the door. So I transformed that. I did that on that particular one. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since you started this, how long did it take from when you studied this metal work to engaging in what you're doing today?
I would say I've been into welding for 20 years. Don't be surprised at my age that I've been into welding for 20 years, because the truth is that I have many people who may not be using this word, but it's the fact. I never went to school. It's the fact. I never went to school. After my first school leaving, I just dived into welding as an apprentice. After 3 years of study, I graduated, and I was doing what every other welder in Cameroon is doing. Then all of a sudden, after training a couple of apprentices and they graduated, I'm like, okay, what can we do? I cannot keep on coming up with new designs of doors and gates and this, but we can do more than this. So that's how I dive into it. And I started by producing mine because I had love for it. I love luxury cars. I love luxury bikes. These are things that come with heavy prices. And if I said, okay, let me keep working and saving, it might take me forever to if I was to work and be saving for the past years, I might not have purchased that bike. It is not easy for a Cameroonian, an average Cameroonian, to raise 13 million to buy a bike just for riding. You see, so, but I see, hey, I can use, American stuffs are different though, but you can do the same. I can take the prototype, I build the same thing. Using now the Chinese engine will not be too costly, but I will have the same structure of what it's about the designing. So it's about the designing. So they're brown theirs and they are too expensive from the engine, from the customers and what. But I'm riding a chopper. It's mine, I build it, but it cost me literally nothing. Okay,
the chopper, how many have you constructed so far?
Well, the chopper is since 2016, the very first one since 2016. Mine, I have 3 different models. I have the bigger one, I have a shorter one, and I have one that is like a Roadmaster that have big size like
okay, that's one of them?
Yeah, that's the very first one. The one you just passed now is one that is, this is the one that I can carry people with. But there is one that I design only for one chair for me, myself. When I want to ride alone, there's one for that.
Is it this?
Nah, this is for a client. This is a chopper. This is a chopper, but it's an average chopper. It's a luxury bike. It's not for commercial. If you look at the way the steering is the long and then the shock, the back tire, you see that it's just for leisure. You cannot use it for commercial actually. And it's low. You see the engine is low all the way down, so you cannot, yes. that is designed only for luxury, for leisure riding, like we buy private cars and people buy taxis, and there are two different types like that. You can't use that for commercial.
Okay, tell me about the Tricycle. When did you start producing them, and what pushed you into them?
The thing is, like I said, it takes believers. You cannot do anything, you cannot excel in anything in this life without believers. And I appreciate everybody who has ever walked up to me and say, Eric, we know you can do this, and we know you can do it better. So like, it's just believers. I did the very first one for my clients in Buya. I did the very first one for some company in Buya that is doing delivery in these canned drinks, sweet drinks and stuff like that. So I built them one. They explained to me the difficulties they were facing, so I built them one. And from there, I would say my blessings, my clients, my market from the Tricycle comes from that. You know, it takes, like, obviously it's expensive to build that. That is 1.7 million. I'll probably cost like 1.4 million for the materials. So, and at my level, I wouldn't just raise that money and I wouldn't just raise that money and construct to put on the market at my level right now. So if wishes were something that could be granted like this, man, I will be having a shopping mall that is having maybe 10, 20, 40, 50 of tricycles. I can do that, or bikes and so on and so on. So that is why I said I'm still producing them on command. Secondly, even if I could say, okay, Eric, you can build 1 or 2 or 3, space is an issue. Like where I am, if you can see my workshop, you see it's too tidy.
So what you're doing there is the construction of a tricycle?
That's a construction that I'm coupling it already. I'm already through with this. This is my electrician he's doing the wiring, so I'm finishing everything and tying up. That's mounting the fan. Like my tricycles are used by the car fan. I don't use the normal Chinese tricycles in the fans in the market. I use by the car fan, so it can work very well in a hilly place without the engine getting heat or hot or something, for the temperature to maintain the temperature.
How long does it take to construct one tricycle?
30 days.
Like the bike?
Like the bike.
Okay. And what's the difference between what you are constructing and what we have out there?
The difference is in the durability. It's in durability, like I said. It's also in the material. If you look at the quality of that chassis, if you compare that to what we have in the market, like I keep saying, I don't want to look down on the Chinese, because I would say they are my first motivations. Like I say, hey, if they can do it, they can do it, and I can do it better. So now they're doing it with the mindset that, oh, these people, if they can use most of the Chinese tricycles in the market, like I keep saying, I'm not looking down on them, but most of the Chinese tricycles in the market, you can ask all the bike riders, they'll tell you, it doesn't last 2 years. It doesn't last 1 year. And all the zinc, all the chassis, everything is broken down. You look at the quality of my tank, the materials, you look at the quality of my chassis, the irons that I'm using, they are very durable. I give you a bike and I give you a guarantee. I tell you that nothing will cut from your bike for the next 3 years. If it does, you can even sue me or do anything, because I have that much confidence in what I've done. I know 120% confidence in what I've done, and I vouch for that. So, but that is something a Chinese man can never give you. Go to any company that's selling Chinese bike, they will not give you a guarantee of more than 1 week or 2 weeks.
Okay. So the difference is in the durability.
The durability.
So far, how many have you constructed?
Well, right now I'm at number 3, but I wouldn't want to talk about the ones that are going on now. But so far I've done 3, and 3 are on the way. Like I've already started. It's a done deal already. Already started talking about it. Had it been so, 3 are on the way. And for the bikes, I think number 5.
Okay.
And number 5. So totally now for the bikes and tricycle, I've done 8.
You've done 8. What is that? The hijack?
That is a chopper.
Okay.
A medium-sized chopper. I'm forming the plate for the seating for the chair, for the driver's chair. So
when you are engaged in this, who decides what color to use?
This is something that I discussed with my clients. Like the last tricycle I was constructing, my client is not somebody from around. He's somebody from here, but he's outside. So when I reach at the level of the painting, now I first of all do the spray with the anti-rust. I have to go with the color for that, because that's not the final color. I spray the anti-rust. Now I ask my client, which is your favorite color? If you don't have one, then I can go with mine. So most of the bikes that I've done for the clients, I've done with their colors. I ask them. So they say, I like red. Okay, I go with red. I like black. I go with black. I go with the color that you like.
Now, you give a guarantee for either the tricycle or the bike that you produce to your clients, and in case there are problems, they bring them back to you?
Yeah, I design them, I make them in such a way that any electrician around the world can work on it. So when you're doing something for business purpose, you cannot just do it with the mindset that everybody will always come to you. Like right now, I have a client from Kumba, like this one in Idina. What if tomorrow you have a small electrical problem? You don't have to call me to leave all the way from here to Idina when there are other mechanics there. It's a minor something. So the guarantee I give you that you might need me is if in case something happens like a chassis cut, which is something that is not going to happen because I have guarantee for that. That's why I said. But any other thing, any other mechanic or electrician can work with it. Like changing oil, you are right in Kumbu or Bamenda or Yaoundé, you will not call me to come and change your oil. You have a bulb, your bulb blue, you cannot call me to come and change your bulb. Every other electrician, mechanic around can do that. You know, if you are hit by a camion and maybe something get bent from your bike, and hey, that's something you can see anywhere that they can do it. Many weathers around, they do repairs.
Okay. If you are watching us, please let us know where you are watching, and if you have a question for Eric, you also let us know so that I can put it through to him. He will answer your questions, and maybe you may want to partner with. Now, what are the challenges you are facing in the process of these productions?
First of all, I would say the challenges. I would say the very first challenge I override is having to come up with this, having to master all this. That is something that I no longer consider as a challenge. But what we call a challenge, I actually don't like to put the word challenge because that is one of the things that has stopped many people from achieving many things in life. I say it, whatever is stopping anybody from doing anything, to me is not a very big deal. I can do it. Now the challenge comes like this. If my challenge now comes based on my wishes, I would have loved to have a very big company by now that I'm having about 10, 20 weather employers that are working with me, having a mall somewhere, a shop somewhere that I'm having 7 Jaidzeka bikes there that I buy 100 and more and supplying all around the country and even the Africa and the continent, and you know. So, but the thing is, if I should say the challenges, one of the challenges I faced that I had tried to address one time was like this tax issue. They keep coming for us like, hey, Eric, you're no longer a normal wage, you are now a semi-industry, you should be level under this category, your tax should be like that and that and that. So I would say that is one of my biggest challenges, but I have not let that to stop me or to slow me because like, and another thing, to make a categories in my bikes, you know, with a bike, for a bike to be running legally on the route, you need to first of all start with the categories and then you go for other documents like insurance, vignette and so on and so forth. To purchase an insurance and vignette, that is ABC. But for me to give you a bike with a categories, it cost me extra 30,000. Meanwhile, the Chinese bikes are being done in the market half the price mine is low. And I was expecting that mine should be even be free. Because of course I'm carrying our flag on my shoulder, you see.
Yeah, but have you made efforts to present what you're doing to the government so that they grant you these favors? Or you are just doing your stuff in Douala, in Bonaberi, and expect that the government should understand?
No, the government, our government knows me right now. They have had an encounter with me.
Okay.
Yeah, my very first interview when I started making these automobiles was with the national channel, and I told them my difficulties, just like you asked me. It's a normal question if you encounter in every TV channel. So they asked me, I told them that this is what I'm facing. And this is where you come in as my government. And this is where you can help me release the load. These are my challenges. As a matter of fact, I do free training in my workshop. I mean, you have not mentioned that. So I told them that, okay, now, let us partner. I wanted to really partner with the government. Let's do this. Let's open like a vocational school training for me to be training Cameroonians to be doing what I'm doing. It could be the government thing. It could be my thing. It could be a collaboration. But at least when it will be the government thing, it will probably be tax-free. Or even if it will having a heavy tax, they will be having to share the weight. So, and I was expecting them to come to support that because my mission was to see how we can free the street, because a lot of kids out here with whom I could transform or we could transform in many other domains. But the fee to pay to be doing the things I'm doing comes with a price. Like my parents, they paid a lot of money before I learned the normal waging. But my research will cost me more, 10 times, 20 times more than that. But then I keep that aside and I say, hey, if I should bring this with the price tag, it will scare many people away. Okay, it is too much. People should pay me millions of francs for me to be able to train them. But how many Cameroonians will be able to pay you 2-3 million to train them to be doing automobiles, making bikes and this and that? All right, let me train you for free. I've been running free training for the past 17 years. Let me do it for free. And then at the end of the day, I see that they're not even interested.
Cameroonians are not interested? Or the government?
Well, I cannot blame the government for the Cameroonians who are lazy, because I put it to them as they are being lazy. Because I can't believe that somebody doing what I'm doing and telling you that, oh, this, if you come to me, I will train you for this for free. And my workshop is not flooding like a school. You see? But just last year, I said, okay, maybe our country, maybe our people don't like free things. I said, okay, I'm raising the price tag. I'm only training orphans and the single parents, like single parent, like half single parents. Kids, I'm only training them for free and the orphans for free. Any other person, your price start from 1 million to 1.5. And don't be surprised, I already have to who paid to train. So the thing is, maybe they don't like the issue of free, or maybe they never see the value, they never saw the value. So instead, when I put the price tag, they are flooding, they are coming, many are requesting. So it's only the issue of accommodation, like I would have been having like maybe 10 apprentices right now.
Okay, I'll take some messages here, and then we continue with the program. But if somebody says they want to partner with you, is it possible?
It is possible with me. Everything is possible with me. I believe that one hand cannot tie a bundle. Yeah, one hand cannot tie a bundle. So I believe it's 1, 2, 3 people that can come up to do something, make something great. I'm already doing something great, but you alone, how far can you go? The skills are there. I have my own personal tools. I'm trying so hard. I'm working so hard to make sure that this becomes something big. But there are people out there who have already made it and it's already sitting. So I need partners, of course, for this to grow. This is a big dream. This is something. Now, that goes back to a question, to something that I would like to chip in. Since 2019, I've been contacted by about 3 or 4 companies in Douala with a very price tag, high price tag, very tempting. Companies who want to pay me like to be working under them, and Erico Metal, my company name, would just be like silence, and like they say, hey, we'll pay you what you deserve. We can even pay you more than, we can pay you the rate that we pay American welders. We know this and that. Even people who are out, who are back here, who are trying to like, I said no. This is a dream I have dreamt for a very long time. This is my own company that I'm bringing up. And as an entrepreneur, you cannot just sell something. It's a goal. I know that I'm having a gold mine. So, yes, as a matter of fact, I know that there will come. It's like a time bomb. It's like pregnancy. It cannot be hidden. So, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time before I will meet the right people who will come in and will take this into something big.
You actually have made steps to meet persons to partner with you. And what they propose is that you come and work for them?
No, I actually have not made steps.
Okay.
Most of the people, they come to me. They have been coming to me for the past 2 years, and I'm somebody that like to take my time before I dive into something.
Okay.
Many people have actually contacted me, like 7, who are ready to partner. I'm like, okay. I have some of my associate people are consider my associate. They're like people I seek advice from. And you know, you cannot just be the palace of everything of knowledge. You cannot just know everything in life. So you also seek advice on people who know, who wish well for you. So and I say there are certain steps, and I'm on the process of writing a business plan whereby now when you approach me now, I say, okay, this is what is on the table. If we can work on this, then we can work on it. If we cannot, then we cannot. Like the companies that have made me are people who just know, okay, this man can do this, and it seems as if this is the man that can only do this. Like, I'm not taking credit. I'm not saying I'm the greatest welder in Cameroon. I keep saying I've made welders that are still more my cap for them and say, but they bow down to me, and I'm like, no, bro, you're better than this. You can do better than this. You have just limited yourself. Yes, my mission is that every welder should be like me and better than me.
Okay. Somebody is asking. This is Chessy. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm watching from Bamenda. Ask our guest how he creates chassis numbers.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Like if there's a picture we can zoom to see one. Like my bikes from 1 to 10. Yeah, I come up with my chassis numbers because I've asked our government to label it, to make it in such a way. You know, our country does not produce cars and bikes. Maybe they are doing them now, but they were not doing them before. So I don't believe there is a book now in our scoffers that can issue that. So I went to the transport office a couple of months back or last year to to make one categories. You know, to start with the categories, you start with the chassis number. And my very first bike that I have that I ride is the very first one. I start with 00 EMF Jaidzeka Chopper 1 with a concept that 2, that is the same thing, 3, 4, 5. All my bikes are having chassis numbers. It's just when I'm going to pay for a categories, I present them to the government and they are. We don't recognize it. I say, how can you not recognize this? This is a bike I've made. These are the evidence. If there is any team, anybody that have to come and test it to confirm that this is okay for our route, I'm good to go with any test. I'm good to go to any office to meet any team, any expertise to come and confirm. I vouch for what I'm doing, and 120% I can give for what I'm doing. So, to answer her questions, I produce my chassis numbers. You will always see them, and if you follow my videos, you will see me where I paste them. I print them because I made the chassis myself, so I should make the chassis number. And it's for my government to collaborate with me and see if they should be going with my own model or they have a model that I should be using. I asked the last time I asked the man in charge, the officer in charge at the transport office, that, okay, this is my own chassis number. And these chassis numbers you are using are the Chinese chassis numbers. They are the one who produce them. Any company that's making a car or a bike come up with their chassis number. So if our government should accept mine, then we'll go along with it because I'm following the same concept. But if they don't, they should bring whatever they are bringing on the table. I'm ready to welcome it.
Now, for quality and efficiency of your bikes, it is the customers that have told you that they are really good?
Yeah, of course. Before the customers told me that they are good, I first of all know that they are good. I tell them that this is what is good. They see it, they have seen it, they have seen from mine, the example, they have seen from the second, from the third, from the fourth, from the fifth. Oh, this is something that there should be no doubt. Like right now, as I'm telling you now, there will be so much demand that I alone, I will not be able to. I'm going to need employment, honestly, to meet up with the market demand that is on the market that you see. Because of the belief. Do you know how come they believe it? How I come about? They come about having believers, more believers. Now you purchase a bike from Erico Metal today, and somebody purchased a bike from Chinese shop today. After 1 year, their own is dead and gone. After 1 year, mine is there in you as you bought it, and you are working every day. 2 years, it is there. 3 years, it is there. I'm giving you the confidence because I'm man. It is there. My workshop is open to welcome anybody, whoever to come. You come to take any bike to go and test it, whatever route, whatever farm, whatever loot. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm open. I'm an open person. So it is very clear from my customers, from my neighbors, from my friends, from whoever who knows what I'm doing. They can confirm to you.
Okay.
And I've had feedback also. To answer your question, I've had feedbacks from my customers saying, hey, we are so grateful. We came to you for this. We'll be coming for more. We'll recommend people for you. Like the bikes I'm doing are true recommendation. So if something is not that good and that solid and that, nobody will recommend it.
So how many persons are you working with now?
Presently, I have 4 apprentices. I'm only working with my apprentices. People, I'm training them to be like me, to be doing the same thing I'm doing. But when the demand will be high and I might have to employ some of the professionals that I know they are good at welding, you know. Like I could like last 2 years ago, I had a contract to build some container homes. I transform container homes to this shipping containers to homes. Okay. So I needed professionals that know good welding, good people who can cut iron very well and weld very well. So I hire about 3 and we work for a contract of 3 months. So that is how it is. So when I will be having demands, like for instance, if I have 10 tricycles now and 10 bikes, choppers now that I need to build, I and my team will delay the delivery because we might not be able to manufacture 10, 20 bikes in 3 months' times. But with other extra 6 professionals, we can do that. So
you go for more. Guys, okay, good evening, Mr. Liu and your guest. This is very exciting development. Can you please ask the guest which are the parts he imports? Also, have you tried to get other metal workshops that manufacture some of the parts, or do you make all the parts in-house? Thank you. Julius Chofo is writing from the United Kingdom.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Julius. I produce all my parts except the engine. I buy the engine from the market. I buy the tires from the market. I buy the navigators, the wiring from the market. But the hood chassis, I build the hood chassis myself. I build the side covers, the tank, the chase, everything. It's my concept. You can't design something and give it to somebody. Like I'm saying, if I bring in a welder in my place to welder something, you only be working on my brain. It's for me to take 2 irons and ask you to join it. And if your mission is to join 20 of them, then it's just for you to be joining only those 20 irons. But if I'm to bring somebody, but as of the moment, all the bikes I've built so far, I've done it myself alone, with the assistance of my apprentice.
Okay. Good evening, for Mr. Leo. Please, for Mr. Eric's number. Should I share a number with the audience?
Of course, I'm a businessman.
Okay.
Anybody is free to have my number.
Okay. I'll send you his number very shortly. And now, you do not only do bikes and tricycles, you also do machines.
Yeah, agricultural machines, general agricultural machines, from wet machines to grinding machines to animal feeds machine. Those are the animals mixer, the crackers, and the wet machine, the grinding machines for fufu corn, and so on and so forth.
Yes, but why did you study all of this?
Like I said, many Camerooners are doing that. I have colleagues like my boss. His senior boss, the person who trained my patron, let me put it that way, is closer to me. So after I studied the normal welding of iron doors, window protectors, and the home iron work, like we call it, the balconies, iron doors, that's welding in Cameroon. Consists of iron doors, window protectors, balconies, staircase, motor gates, and it ends there with any other thing they can join. So after that, by I think it was 2007, 2008, when grinding machine, this system model of grinding machine started popping out. Like it was still in cities like Douala, Bamenda. Back then I was still in Kumbu. So it was this my colleague Shea Eugene. I will mention him. He's the one who started doing it in Kumbu. So I just dive in and studied that and came to Bamenda, where I usually come and purchase my electric motors. I increased my knowledge by meeting some of my colleagues. And the thing with welding is that, like somebody like me, when you have the knowledge, it's like the basics. There are basics, just like education. Like personally, how I categorize education, like it's basic knowledge to me is read and write. So when you know how to cut and weld, any other thing is copy work. People tend to, it is only in school that copy work is a bad thing, but in the technical field, copy work is one of the greatest things that can happen to any engineer, any technician. If you cannot do what the greatest people have done before, then who are you? I either look at the concept of that camera and design one, and then maybe do some changes on it. I give the credit to the first person who ever did it, but then again, I'll come up with my own model. It's because of that person that I know they could do a tripod. Okay, maybe let me make my own tripod.
Can we come back to the video that was on LI? Yes, there. What were you doing?
That's a tank. That's a motorcycle tank that I'm making. I've welded it, finished, and I've put some paper, putty, and I'm prepping it.
So you are the one who formed that?
I make all my tanks. I make all my tanks. Very durable. That tank will work with you for the next 10 years, and you never have a problem. That sheet metal is 1210. The Chinese sheet metal is 810. The thickness difference is about 3 milli. So I build my tanks, all my tanks, and if you look at all my tanks, they have that shape, except my very first bike that is having a different shape of a tank. But all my tanks now I've customized. This is the shape of my tank. You see any bike anywhere with that shape tank, you know I'm the one who I come up with that concept.
That tank is for tricycle?
That's for tricycle.
Okay. I'll take so many persons sending messages, so let me read some of them. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and to Mr. Erico. I wish to ask how he can be contacted. I'm watching from Douala. I'll send you Mr. Eric's number. Okay. This one says, we are proud of who we are. Okay, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm Kulon Maxilin, writing from Boya. Bravo to our brother for his creativity and improving the quality of the tricycle. To Mr. Erico, since you have proven your potentials, write a business plan or propose and present to the government, including your worries and equally recommendations. You can't wait for the government to come and ask your problems. Okay, he just said that he's going to work on a business plan so that he can share with people. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and congratulations to our young Cameroonian producer. May I know from which region this producer is from? I will keep praying for you and your family. Kudos. Yes, which your tribe? I'm
from So.
Okay.
That's in the northwest region.
Okay.
That's Kumbu.
Okay, it's from Kumbu. You're married now?
Yeah, I'm married with kids.
Okay.
Been married 14 years ago.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu and Mr. Erico. Erico, I'm so proud of you. You are the real engineer we need in this country. Keep on. It is unfortunate that people like you are not encouraged in a good country. Skilled people like you should be supported by this government. We have not seen this type of creativity in our polytechnics. Hi, Liu, I would like to know where he's located, if he's willing to partner, and a hint on his near expectations, production and marketing. Okay, I'll send you his number. You can get to him privately. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Peyechu Kingsley watching from Yaoundé. Hello, good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Kingsley from Bamenda. What Eric is doing is called re-engineering, and if that can be done in other sectors, we will see a boom in the economy of this country. That's how China built their economy. Congratulations, Mr. Eric. You are a nation builder. Okay, we can take voice messages. Just send a message, we'll read them. Good evening. This is Dominique Tala right away from Betua. Wish please how to contact Mr. Erico Meta. Now, you say your bikes are very durable. What about the machines you're creating?
Yeah, same thing with me. I believe in durability. Like in my field of work, it is the confidence that you place on your clients and the things you produce that bring you more customers. And if you're working and you love your work the way I love my work, as a matter of fact, I would say the things that set the difference between me and the rest of the world, that is many people does wedding for surviving. I does it first of all for the love of it. Yes, there is money in it. I do it for the money at the end of the day. But first thing first is the love for it. Like if not for the love of it, I will not be in wedding today. Because many have quit because it's a tough work as well. You know, you need to have the good safety gears for you to last long in these industries. You know, and many because of local experiences and people who don't have idea of what to do, of the difficulties in it. Like and. As a welder, I had not just remained in what I studied. Like if that was the case, I wouldn't be here today. I study every day, and I encourage my apprentice and every other welder out there to improvise, to go more than what they know. I study up to now. I've had graduate for maybe about 15 graduates for the past 17 years, and I don't even know any welder in Cameroon that study more than I do. I study this work. I live in the future. Let me put it that way. I study things that will still be coming out 2-3 years time from now. You know, with the mindset of an entrepreneur, I know for me to stay on top of my game, I need to be doing the things that others are not doing. You know, despite the fact that I'm sharing the knowledge. I've already made a name for this. Like in Cameroon, in history, it has gone down in history. There will never be a mention of automobile in Cameroon without the name of Eric. That alone is a legacy that I've kept, and nobody can take that away. So, and that is the blessings that comes with it, you know, because many people many people now can have the confidence to walk up to any welder and say, "Can you do this?" And they gave me like a reference. If you can do it, you can do it. And I know for a fact, like I keep saying, there are better welders in this nation. And the only thing I'm trying to change from them is the mindset.
Yes, but you said earlier on that you made a call for free training, and people did not show up.
Well, they showed up, but not as I would expect. Because if somebody like me with a passion, I have welders that I still followed in the United States, like Jesse James, somebody who is a bike builder. This is somebody that talks with the president, like I'm talking with you, of the United States. And that is somebody I've followed all my life. And somebody like Elon Musk, these are people that I follow. These people are doing great things in my domain, in my industry. And I know, I envision to be like them. And come to think of it, if Elon Musk said that, oh, I'm opening a free training for electronic cars, or even if the fee is something that I can afford, I'm going for that. And then it baffles me because I'm doing something I know that it is great. And then I said, you people should come and learn for free. And they are like, I have about 5,000 friends on Facebook. I keep laughing at my friends and I say, you cannot tell me you don't have nieces and nephews in the village who don't have something doing, who cannot go to school because they don't have the means. And you like my post every day, you comment, you said I'm doing great, you like the things I'm doing. You don't want your niece or your nephew or your friend or your friend's child or whoever that you know that you think they can be like me. It is not difficult to manage to run a welding workshop. I built my very first bike just with a welding machine and a filing machine, just with these two tools. The first tool you need is your willingness, your knowledge. You know, once you have that knowledge, every other tool will fall into place. You will either purchase them or you will make them see, because it's a promising work. It's work that has money. It's not something that you just doing free training because something that is common. That no, there are millionaires in this country that are welders. I have colleagues that are industrial welders that work on the shipyard in the port and their associates have come to me like, hey Eric, there is a position for you at the port, this and that. No, I'm somebody who decided from day one I will never work under anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, so
you are your own boss. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and the biggest engineer in the house. I don't know, or when you say made in Cameroon, does it mean the parts in the bike that is the shock, the engine, the tires, and other parts are there also made in Cameroon? Sangong Franklin is writing from Boya. This one says, good evening to the house. Congratulations to our brother. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the Cameroonian in the panelists in the studio. I propose the mark of the bikes should carry the mark Erico Jack. Kaye is writing from Abamenda, but there is a name. You already have a mark for all your bikes.
Yeah, I already have the mark for all my bikes. It's Jaidzeka Motors. It's carry my name, Jaidzeka Motors.
Okay. Jaidzeka Motors, so there is already a mark for it. And
my company name goes for Erico Metal. So Erico Metal is the one producing all the Jaidzeka Motors.
Okay.
The reason I have not, at first I was using Erico Metal, then I say, hey, Erico Metal is much polyvalent. I'm building many types of things. So hey, there should be names for all my automobiles, be it a car, a tricycle, a bike. They will only see Jaidzeka Motors into it.
Okay.
Easy.
Hello, Mr. Liu. I'm Albert, watching from Boya. It is amazing hearing Mr. Eric speak English, so friendly, and he is saying he ended in just a first school living. Yes, that guy is going to walk miles in greatness. His passion is boundless. I love his work. Okay, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. That guy is amazing. We didn't believe this could happen. Please, can I have his contact? Yes, but take his contact for partnership. Good evening, writing from Boya. Please, Erico Metal, where are you situated in Douala? Can you produce a ladies' bike?
Yes, of course, I produce a ladies' bike. I can produce you a ladies' bike. I can produce you anything you want in this life.
Okay. Yeah, where are you located in Douala?
I'm at Entrepilot, Bunaberi, at Flyover.
Okay.
Just 2 blocks away from the road after Petroleum University, St. Lawrence Petroleum University. There's a clinic and I'm on the 3rd block.
Okay. Good evening, great program, Mr. Liu, and kudos to Erica Ignatius, live from mile 4 in Limbe. Stop calling, please. Just send a message, I'll read them out. Good evening, Mr. Liu, to the wonderful and dynamic guest of today in the person of Mr. Wirngo, Eric Jaidzeka. It's really very impressive, Mr. Liu. I love this guy's courage. How I wish many of our youth take the lessons from him and embark on the things like he stated of waiting for the government to recruit them in the offices. Once more, congratulations to Mr. Eric Jaidzeka. And so, no, the take last Chika Divine, watching from Yaoundé. So many persons are writing and also expecting to partner with you. What are your mid long-term plans?
My plans, being the mid-terms, the short-term, the long-term plans, it's just to grow that company to a big something. Like I envision to have. My dreams are to see the streets, all our streets in Cameroon, not only the streets of Douala, the streets of Cameroon and Africa are large, running around with Jaidzeka Motors. This shouldn't be something. This is big. This is a dream that is bigger than me. I know that for a fact, but I embarked on it and I embrace it with so much love. I know that it will be realized someday because I know I have believers out there and I know I have people who will join this and will take it to the next level. So the level I wish it for it to be, I myself alone, I cannot. But I believe that with a couple of hands, with a couple of partners, we can do that.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Congratulations to Eric Metals. How can we contact him, please? I really love the inspiration. She legend from Yaoundé. Mr. Liu, help me ask him the conditions for the free trainings. I'm not sure there are free trainings again.
There are, of course. I said the only people eligible for the free trainings are the orphans and the single parents kids. So when I talk about the single parents kids, sometimes you see kids being raised only by the mother, the father is dead. Sometimes you see kids raised by the father, the mother is dead. Or sometimes, and life is difficult. But still, there are kids with parents, and they maybe living in some village. They are not well to do. The purpose is love for humanity. That is why if somebody like me can be doing free training, it's out of the place of love. I'm doing that for love's sake. It's not. But you don't expect me or a Geo to come to me to train their child, and you expect me to do it for free. So I'm trying to balance the scale. There are people who are not doing well in the society, but finance should not stop them from achieving their goals or from growing in life, and not everybody have somebody that can support them. So that is my own part of playing. That is my own part of supporting the society and the country and the world alike. It's not as if I'm doing for Cameroonians, if for Africans or whoever around the world, for humanity. I have general love for humanity. So there is no boundary to my free training, be it a Muslim, a Christian, man, I don't care your tribes, your religion, your beliefs, or whoever. If you have love for this work and you want to study this work, of course, I'm just a call away. I will train you. I'm not doing free accommodation. Of course, you can take care of that for yourself. But then again, I will do the free training, because I would tell you. You asked me a question. I was still to learn to that question about how I come about this. I would tell you I cannot take credit for this. It is God. It is God. It is only God. There are welders. Cameroon have had welders before I was born, before my father was born, before I ever came to existence. And for me to be doing what I'm doing and to be transforming the minds of other welders who have been, I do things that still amaze the welders that have been into welding for 30 years before I ever came to existence. So if it is not God, then I cannot take credit for this. I do things I myself that I sit and say, hey, Eric, how did you come about this? I do believe I can do it. I have the guts to do it. I do things that have never been done by any other welder around the world. I come up with my designings. I come up with my concept. Yeah, I give credit to those who have done it before, but then I look at this, I say, okay, somebody does this thing, just microphone like this. I could design mine to come from up. I could design mine to come somewhere and be hanging on a rope. So, but you see, so I have that mind, that brain that works in a way that a mysterious way. I would say it is God. It is God. I would say it like that. So that is what prompted me to be doing free training. I never paid for this knowledge. Yes, I never paid for this knowledge. My parents, they paid for my training in a normal welding garage. But what I'm doing right now, the things I'm doing right now, I never paid of it. So, but it cost me though. But I cannot say, like every other person watch YouTubes and they watch videos, but everybody knows how to follow companies who are doing cars and bikes. But who is doing that? Nobody. Who is having the audacity to do what I'm doing for a business? Nobody. Are they Cameroonians who can do that? Yes, of course. Why are they not doing it? Because they are afraid. Because they don't think they can do it and succeed. But now that I've done it and I've succeeded, and I'm making them to understand that you can do it and you can do it better. But you have to come out from that box. You have to come out from that mindset. You have to come out from that mentality to know that, hey, I can do this. If he can do this, I can do it.
Okay, Mr. Liu, please ask Mr. Eric if he can produce machines used to crack kernel and extract the oil from it.
I do. I'll just say you just showed them an image of one that I just did for a client in Akko border, Cameroon, Nigeria. I do that. When I say I do general agricultural machines, so it consists of all those machines, every machine you can think of.
A lady is asking if you can do just any bike. All they need to do is show you a sample of the bike and then you work on it.
You are talking to the right person, ma'am.
Okay.
You're talking to the right person for that. As a matter of fact, I discussed with the client this. I just had a deal signed this evening before I was coming for this interview with some sisters. Very soon you will see that coming up. Like I said, what I'm doing is like a pregnancy. It cannot be hidden. So I just seal a deal today. I'll be making an ambulance bike. It's a motorcycle with a bed, with the attached side bed for an ambulance that can carry people in villages and go from one health clinic to another, or maybe from place to the hospital. In a bike in a place that a car cannot go. And for people who cannot purchase a Hilux or a van, now this is the easiest way for them to purchase something like that. I can design any bike in this life and build it for you. Even if you imagine it, even if it has never been existing, I can make you just any bike.
Yes, somebody is raising a concern about spare parts. How do you do that? But he says that from the look of things, yours are really durable. But spare parts, how do you manage?
Thank you. This is where I come up with the differences. I refuse to produce, like, I minimize the need for spare parts in my production. If you look at my bikes and you look at the side covers, you see they are attached in the chassis. So unlike the Chinese bike, the rubber, they fall down, they got up, the rubber is broken, you need to go back to the market to buy that. I don't even have time to produce a spare part. So that's why I'm giving you the guarantee that the bike you purchase from me, you don't need a spare part. Of course, if a Travigators get bad, you can always buy a Travigator from the market. Those are the spare parts. The spare parts I have are all in the market. Engine needs spare parts. They are in the market, in Cameroon market. Tires, they need spare parts. They are in Cameroon market. Travigators, headlamps, they need spare parts. They are in Cameroon market. But about my tank, about my chassis, about my side cover, that is the bike consists of all these three things I'm talking about. You have the tank, the chassis. You have the chassis, which is the whole thing. You have the tank. You have the chair. You have the side covers. And these are the things that make them 100% certified confident. So you will not need a side cover to change in the next 20 years in any bike you buy from me. You see the differences? You will not need your tank in the next 10 years unless you have an accident and a car crush it. You just need to call me that you need this tank and I'm making you another tank. Okay. Because my guarantee doesn't fall under accident, of course. And like if you buy a bike from me today and you're supposed to be changing, if you're using it every day and you're supposed to be changing your oil every week or every 2 weeks, and you went and use for 6 months without changing your oil and you knock your engine, that doesn't fall under my guarantee. You see, but I go for the best engine because I produce my bikes with brand new engines.
Okay. And you say you are ready to partner. You are hoping that many persons are going to come. But I ask you about your midterm and your long-term plan. Are you looking forward to building one very big a factory where?
Yeah, that is that. I answered you already. Yeah, my plan is to have a very big plant, a factory whereby we'll just be producing. Like I was discussing with somebody the other day. I said, look, bro, I know that I've made a name in this industry, and many people I've been working for many people who say, hey, only Erico Mecha will be my doors, my iron doors. Those are the things that will be produced from my company. It is a clear and clear fact. I'm building a factory sooner or later. Okay. That is happening. And the truth being said, with or without the partners, that is how much to assure you of how much I wish for. I know that this is going to happen. I intend to. So even if it is a one-man show, I would, but I don't pray for that because I believe we grew together. So, and this is something that needs to go down. It's a legacy. It needs to go down. It's a generational something. Like if I die today, if it is only Erico Metal, if I die today, my wife cannot manage that. I don't think so. And I know my kids is aware that my son, I'm training him, but still, we need people who can partner. We take these things I follow big companies who have done the same thing that I'm trying to do, and I know the way they do it, and I'm following their footsteps. Of course, my long-term plans and my vision is I intend to build an industrial university like
Polytech?
A Polytech, a university that will train engineers that will come out to be great builders and fabricators and so on and so on. And my training consists of 10% theory, 90% practical, because I believe it is the practical stuff that we like to see the work done, not what the paper is saying. You know, so you have to prove what you do by actions and not by words. So that's why my training always consists of 10% theory and 90% practical.
Somebody's asking whether they can come for internship. Have you been receiving them?
Of course, I have a couple of students who will be coming from Bamenda, the University of Bameli, for the internship. I have students from technical universities who always come for internship. So you are welcome any day.
Tell us a little bit about your education, Eric.
No, like I said, I've never sat in the 4 walls of Form 1. I only had my first school living certificate, and I doubt if I know where that is. But after my primary education, I just told my parents, like, hey, I'm not going to any college. I really did disturb them. And I thank you for asking that question, because I like to bring this up in every of my interviews, because I like to bring that up because I would say this is where the story changes. If you should be talking with me right now, it's thanks to my father who believed in me. and who followed my lifestyle from step to step as a child when as I grew up. I would say it's thanks to him, and I put this to all the parents out there. Every time I mention this, I put it to all the parents out there, and that is why I myself, I can no longer impose on any child that you must be this or you must be doing that, because we are born with different gifts, and we need to identify those in our children. So luckily for me, my father identified mine. So when I said after my first school living graduation that I'm not going to college, they tried. Everybody from my maternal side to the paternal side, every uncle, everybody, they did everything humanly possible for me to go to any college of my choice. I said no. And hey, Eric, why? What I want to do, I'm not seeing any Cameroonian school or university doing. So I believe I can go through the practical way, through work, handwork, and maybe be able to be who I am today, what I want to be. And the truth is that I tormented my father, because back then, when I said I wanted to study handwork, I didn't want to go to school. The most funniest part is that what? I never knew what I wanted to do. That is where I tortured them. Eric, you don't want to go to school. You want to learn work. Which work? I don't have an answer for that. But I want to learn work. So that's where I put my parents at work. And that is where every parent comes in. It goes like that for 1 week, 1 month, 2 weeks. They were disappointed and tired. I'm not a stubborn child, but I'm surprising everybody because I myself, I don't even know what to do. I'm confused. So my father had to go back to my lifestyle from childhood. He told me this afterward. Okay. I asked him a question after he had asked me if I would do wedding. Funny enough, I accepted. Then I asked him, Papa, what is wedding? Like, I never knew. There are many things they don't study. They don't teach us many things in school. Like, we go study some, I don't want to say something that people might come after me, but the truth is that they are teaching nonsense. I came as a first school living graduate. I didn't know what was welding. My father told me that, would you be doing welding? I said yes. And then I asked him that, what is welding? Nobody know that. 2002, in 2000, the year 2000, that's when I graduated. I did not know that, and I doubt if some of my classmates knew that back then in Kumbu government primary school. So the thing is this: my father said from childhood, I have always been with iron. That is how he come about choosing, saying that okay, maybe this is his call. I have always been with iron, in bed with iron. All my clothes, when they are washing my clothes with iron. You send me somewhere to go buy something, I'll come back with pieces of iron. Iron was everywhere at home because of me, so I tormented them. He said he probably prayed for it because he's a good man, he's a Christian, and that is the only person that planted the morale that is in me, that make me to go upright, that trained me in the way of God, and to be who I am today. And if a world can benefit from me, it's down to just one person.
Okay, it's thanks to your father?
My father, yes.
Okay.
He's my father. I call it, biologically he's my uncle, but that's the only father I ever know. That's the best father in the world. That's my father. I don't like to call him my uncle because he is actually my biological uncle. My father died and left us about 4, but he trained us all. So okay. Many people don't get to see that. So many people don't know that I don't have a father, because I've never lived like somebody who doesn't have a father. I've never experienced living without a father. That is the best father in the world.
There's something I saw. Don't know, Eli, whether we can have the tricycle. There is, do they call it a fan belt, and the shocks of the motorcycle and the fan. Okay, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. How do you form this?
Now, I formed my forks from zero. The shocks are being sold in the market, like the front shocks, they are being sold in the market. So, but I formed my forks from the steering. Now, the fan, I purchased the fan from the market. That's a car fan. I purchased it from the market, but the chassis. Like, when we talk about construction, manufacturing, like, there is a question, like, every time I post online with some other bloggers who post online, I see a lot of people lamenting, like, really, we have a problem. Like I was discussing with one of my friends, a white in America. He told me that, a black man's problem is a black man. I'm telling you, my brother, that's the honest truth, and it's the truth. It's a fact. I've seen that. You will make something like that from the beginning. There are many people. You will see somebody who is maybe a tailor or a farmer who have zero idea about iron, be telling you that how can you say you are manufacturing a bike when you are not the one making the engine? Truth is, I'm not interested in learning how to make an engine. Many car companies out there, for years, decades, have been functioning, and they don't produce engines. They only produce the cabin. And there is a company, the Toyota company, who is producing the engines. I'm not interested in doing that. And that is what is stopping many Cameroonians. Just because you know that you cannot make an engine, okay, I cannot make a car. Just because you know that you cannot make an engine, okay, I cannot make a bike. Because you think that it is from making the engine that will mean that you make a bike. It doesn't mean... I am doing the manufacturing. I don't have to make the engine. I'm not interested in making the engine.
Many persons don't know. They think that because Boeing is producing
the plane and the engine and the other thing.
Engines are, there are other companies that produce those engines, this other one, and then they do it.
Thank you. You are an intelligent person. You are smart enough to know that many Cameroonians, well, I wouldn't say many Cameroonians, because that will be looking down on many, because you will see it's just like 1% of the unbelievers. And I think that they are not just believers, they are just people. You know, you can never have everybody applaud you for what you are doing. Not everybody will ever like you in this life. And some are from the place of jealousy, some are from the, so you really want to clap for him that he can do that. The fact is that I'm doing it. It is manufacturing. You cannot call that assembling. I'm not doing any assembling anyway. This is the issue that I've been planning to address. I'm not doing any assembling. I'm doing manufacturing. And if you think it is easy, do it. Okay.
Somebody's asking how much the tricycle cost, but can you just get to him? And another person wants to know whether you can do sports machines.
I can do any machine in this life, any motorcycle in this life. Yes, I can do you any sport machine, any machine, just name it.
Okay, so the message is clear. He does it, and but do you also intend walking up to Yaoundé with some of these products you've done to engage government? Why not go to the Ministry of Vocational Training and present your project for the training sector for those who may likely work in the big firm that you intend creating?
Yeah, of course, of course. If an opportunity is given, if an occasion is called for, I will.
No, they are there in Yaoundé. Why not see some persons, you carry some of these things that you have done? Go there.
Okay. Now that is an advice I'm taking from you. That's something that I had no idea. So
you're the one who says that we should not wait until the ministries are there in Yaoundé. Why not go to one or two? They may not smile at you here, but who knows? You may be smiled at from this other angle. But if anybody is watching and thinks that we need to get this stuff to another level, please do well to meet him. I'm sharing his number to those who are requesting so that you can see how you can partner with him. You say you are going to come up with a business plan?
Yeah.
That would detail what you guys can do, how many persons may be needed, what quantity of raw material. Yeah. But it starts with the training.
Yeah. But as of the moment, of course, I can run, with the present teams that I have now, with the present equipe I run now, we can do any number of manufacturing. And then secondly, we can, the number of persons that will be doing it is not an issue. Yeah, it's not actually an issue. To give, say, for instance, that we have an opportunity, we have a contract. Maybe it could be a government contract, could be an individual, could be a company. We are in an economic capital that there are many companies. Tomorrow I can just have a contract from one company that they need 50 bikes and so on and so forth. So, of course, like I was saying, if the equipe is still too small, I will hire welders and pay them and we'll get it done. So now you asked me a question. I really want to dive that back and finish that so that I do not go off my head. So you asked about how I became a welder. I was narrating that before it skipped on. So. That was how I became a welder. After my father mentioned that and he explained that, okay, welding is the art of working iron doors and window protector. I say, hey, good, I'm in. I just fall for that. And the next morning he took me to one workshop, agreed the work and paid the work, and I started the work ASAP. I studied, my training was agreed for 2 years. And after 2 years, I was certified, but I was still too young to operate a workshop. I was too young to manage a workshop. But then again, they had me another 1 year. After my 3 years in the workshop, I was now a little bit up. So he went and opened my workshop, bought my tools, and I started work. And I started having apprentices. I was training people who are like 10 years older than me. I used to have challenges. That's a funny story I will tell you. I used to have challenges where customers come to the workshop and they like, we're looking for the person who the boss of this workshop, and I'm inside my office as small as I was, and sometimes people will be angry. One of my best customers are people who got angry, frustrated, and left and said that these people are joking here. I came to one of my senior apprentices. His name is Elias Jensen. He came to him and seeing him as the boss, and he was actually an apprentice, and asked that he wanted somebody who did that iron door, and the guy said no, we will discuss that with our boss. So when they sent for me, I came outside. Like the man said that I'm not joking here. I'm looking for the boss, and you're bringing me a young man that you. So those are the challenges I felt in my industry. Like The man went away, but that is the best customer I ever had. He went away. When maybe he had his associate who directed him the shop, they said, no, that's the man, that's the young man. He puts his stuff on Facebook. Well, I made him, the guy came and made me, I did his work. From there, he became my best customer. So I was having those challenges along the line. So I grew into this industry. I know everything. I'm about iron work. I have so much work for irons that I have so much love for this work that it's like an addiction for me. It's like an addiction. It's something it should be.
Yeah, when you called for persons to come and train in this, and they did not come as expected, are people not also not too sure about the money that is in what you're doing?
Thank you. That's a good question. Many youngsters in Cameroon, that is the issue with fast money is what is disturbing all the youths, all of our lazy youths, Cameroonian youths. That is why they have dived into scamming, into lying, into cheating, into stealing, into this and that. And my very first reason, what prompted me to dish out free training was because I said to myself, hey, you have been opportune to be trained. Many have been opportune to be sent to school, and many are floating in prison because they have nothing doing. But in the long run, I realized that actually bad people are bad people and good people are good people. Many are out there stealing because they choose to be stealing. Many are out there doing other dubious stuff to be making money because they choose the easy way. They choose the easy path. They choose the fast path. The truth is that this journey of being an apprentice takes sacrifice. It's sacrifice, and I'm proud of some of my apprentices. I will mention him, Vela Derek. That is somebody who was married. That's somebody with a back from the technical school who was, I think, was it cap back, whatever, the highest certificate they have in the secondary school. He got it, he came out, he was doing electricity, but the guy fell in love with my work. A married man with 3 children. He sacrificed 2 years of his life to come and train. He's certified now, he's working in Douala, he's doing pretty good. Presently now, I'm having an apprentice who is serving 3 children. He's a married man, but he sacrificed and he's learning the art. So it takes people who know what they are going for. They know what this is gold mine. I keep telling people, I'm giving you people gold for free. This is the future. What I'm doing is the future. Cameroon future relies on this in many aspects. We're doing thousands of things in my workshop. There's none of my apprentices, none of my graduates who you can see out there that is jobless. Because anybody that passed through my training can make anything in this life. You see. They don't limit themselves because I make sure they are that way certified before I give them a certificate. So now, back to what I was saying, I still keep maintaining this. I would love for every parent everywhere to study their children. That is where many of us are failing. We just believe this nonsense that everybody has to go to school. I call it nonsense. Many people don't like that, especially people who are educated, who consider us that we are not educated. But the truth is that when I said I don't like our system of education or our schools,
but we cannot say everything is bad.
Everything is bad in it, and I cannot say that. Now people misunderstand the concept. What I'm saying is that the school education is very good. I stand for education 100%. As a matter of fact, I study, so and I'm still teaching. I'm a teacher, so it depends what you are studying. The school consists of many things. So when I say I didn't want to go to school back then was because I didn't saw what I wanted to become in our school system. Does that mean that they are not educated? Of course, we know people who can tell you, geographical students who can tell you it's going to rain today, tomorrow. I wasn't just interested in studying that. I wasn't interested in studying history. I wasn't interested in studying any other thing of the world or what every other person. I wasn't interested in being a medical doctor. Of course, to become a best medical doctor, I have to go to school. And we need them, you know. So, but we also need engineers for a country like this to grow. So, and most of the things we are doing, that I'm doing, I will tell you, I have had many graduates from the University of Technical University who comes to me and they say, bro, we really did study some theoretical parts of what you are doing in school, but the truth is that we have certificates and we cannot put them into action. They confide that in me, you know, and their interest, they are showing their interest of coming to have the knowledge to become like me. So imagine how many years wasted, how many wasted years.
Yeah, but I'm sure they did not just waste. They learned something from it. We cannot also conclude that what they did was not good. Eh?
Yeah,
we need to compliment. We need to compliment each other.
Yeah. I agree with you. Now the thing is this. Now when we're looking at when they come out now, 2 people going to school. One is studying medicine. One is studying history. Tomorrow you come out. If you are a teacher, you have a job, of course.
Okay, Eric, do you see yourself as the future key automobile producer in Cameroon? Are you also going into producing cars?
Of course, I'm already the future. You talk. This is the present. We're still talking about the future. This is the life we are living. I am what you are talking about.
Yes,
the future. This is it.
Because we have been talking about the tricycle and
the motorcycles.
The bikes, yes.
Look, the future.
Tell me about. Do you also hope to start doing cars?
What I will be doing: cars, commercial cars, luxury cars, whatever car you dream of that you wish of. Man, I'm ready to build it. I will build it.
Mm-hmm.
It is happening not soon from now. It is happening not soon from now. When I said there is just literally nothing I cannot do, I mean every word I said. And you will see it sooner or later. We'll be talking here maybe next a couple of months or next year with something on the hand. You see it. I just don't like to bring the cat out of the box when it is not the right time. But just know that to answer your question, yes, I'm the future of automobile in this country.
Okay. You are the future, and if we need to create a big automobile industry in this country, we'll need a lot of training, and then get so many young Cameroonians who are not interested to get interested. What is it that you are telling them to know about this field so that they can start, if not training with you, they can get into other technical structures?
They should emulate my style. They should emulate what I'm saying. Words are everything. Words are very powerful. And if I'm telling them that they can do what I'm doing, it is because it's a fact. And anybody who is a welder will think in the same line that I'm talking about. Like many welders, like I'll keep saying, there are many great welders in this country. They are just limiting themselves. Now, let me tell you something. I first of all came to Douala. I needed to understand the system. I'm working with my colleagues. We build trucks. This camion will build the carriages, the truck. So
okay.
That's what I've been building in Douala from before. I have so much passion in just my other manufacturing innovational things, and to me that is just like a cut and nail in this our field. There is a statement we usually call this cut and nail. You know that you ever heard of that statement? Mm-hmm. Cut and nail. That's what I consider that. For a truck to come from Europe and they remove that container and will construct that back carriage for a camion to be carrying stuff. To me, that is ABC. But I'm like, let us be building the whole system. We can walk from the chassis to the cabin and just buy the engines and the tires and feed them. We're building plateaus. Plateaus is 90% of a camion. We build the whole system from the half chassis backward to the tires, the suspension, and buy only the tires and feed. It's left only the cabin for us to build, and for that to do is ABC, just to buy the windshield, the tableau, and feed them. So Cameroonians can do that. We have been doing 90% of the things, but then we are afraid to do the whole thing. So that is where I'm coming now with the and the truth is that I wouldn't blame them. Like I was having discussion with some of them, and they say, "Hey, bro, our government, they will lock you. This thing that you are making bikes and cars and tricycle." I said, "No, which government will do that? They love what I'm doing. You think our president is not watching me? He knows what I'm doing. They will come for me when the time reach, and they will come for something positive. They will say that, hey, Eric, come. We've seen you are doing something. You have been long in this thing, and what do you think we should do?" And I will tell them what I think should be done for this country to be a good thing. I intend to have a technical school. I intend to have a technical university. Erico Technical University that will be training a polytechnic, that will be training people like, I have colleagues I have white colleagues in America, like people who before they became my friends, as a matter of fact, they wanted to take me over. Every Cameroonian is doing something, they always want you. Like I have about 7 applications on my table. If I say today I'm coming to America, Canada, or Europe, I will not make 2 days in this country. I have that opportunity, about 7 applications lying on my table. I said, no, I'm never going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. My country needs me. My people needs me. What I'm doing now, if I go to America, I will just be one of the Cameroonian billionaires that's out there that's not existing. That's a nobody. And I don't live by the money. I live by the legacy.
Okay. So we are out of time. We hope that Eric is going to be back here for another edition, especially after letting the cat out of the bag, because you said there is something that is
that is cooking up. That is cooking.
It's 9 o'clock and we have to end at this juncture. Thank you very much for coming. And for those who want his number, especially for partnership, ask me the number after the program. I'll share with you. We're glad to have had you this evening.
It's a blessing to be here, sir. I'm super grateful, and thank you so much for also having me. It's an honor, thank you. It's a great way of promoting and letting people to know what we are doing and that we can do it. And I'm here to encourage all Cameroonians, every Cameroonians, everywhere. You can do it. I've done it. I'm doing it. You can do it. And together we can have a better nation.
Thank you very much for coming, and to you, Desmond and Eli, for production, Tabitha and Brian for supervision. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.